Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. This is part three of the topic organizing a scientific document. More precisely, we're discussing about the organizing a research paper. So, in the part two, we have discussed about the introduction section. We were discussing about the introduction section, in which I have given a brief overview. In this part three, I'll be discussing each and every paragraph, how you can organize each and every paragraph with respect to according to an objective that we have, that we need to organize it in several different paragraphs, and I'll give you some few examples that how you can organize your paragraphs in a scientific way. Okay, we were discussing about the paragraph 1. In the paragraph 1, the objective was to write about your research area. So I have taken this example from one of the research paper that's published in a good journal, in which you can get an objective that what you can write about the area, research area. So this, let me give you the introduction about this particular text that I have taken. This paper was published for one of the security issues in the uh, social networks. So no, right here we have the area that we are going to work on is the social networks. So in this paragraph, the first paragraph, the objective is to introduce the research area. So he will be talking about the social networks. What are the social networks, and uh, what are the important elements of the social networks. So the focus is only on the social networks. As you can see in the first sentence, online social networks such as Twitter, Facebook, Google Plus, MySpace, etc. are platforms where people interact with each other by publishing messages, right? So as you can see, the first paragraph only focuses on uh, the nature of the social networks. What is the objective of the social networks? The objective of the social network is to a platform where the people can interact and they can publish their messages, right? That is one thing. In the next paragraph, in the next sentence, uh, as you can see, we have used a joiner here in these platforms. So actually, that is the systematic way of writing, that whenever you are actually organizing the document, it must be organized in a scientific way, in a systematic way, because we have the objective of the first paragraph, that is to talk about the research area. Then in the next paragraph we'll talk about the problems in that area. So as you can see, everything is coherently written. The first paragraph is about the area, and the second paragraph about the problems in that area, and the third paragraph the people who have worked on that area. So you can see it is the continuous process, or it is a coherent way of writing. Moreover, while organizing a paragraph, now we're talking about the paragraph. Now this whole paragraph, it must also be written in a systematic way, right? So each sentence, the subsequent sentence basically is related to the previous sentence. That is very important. So as you can see, we are actually continuing the previous sentence right here. In the first sentence, we have talked about that the people can interact and they can publish their messages. Where? In those platforms. So this is the joiner. In these platforms, we're talking about these platforms now. In these platforms, user can build their own social circle of friends and join the social groups or communities. You can see we're actually conveying our we're talking about the research area, but uh, while writing, you need to join, or you need to make your paragraph in a cohesive way, right? All the sentences, they must be coherent. So each subsequent sentence is being related with the previous sentence. We are continuing the previous sentence actually. That is very important. This is the actually the scientific process of writing. So in the first paragraph, we talk about the platforms where people publish and interact, and in these platforms, user can build their own social circle of friends and join the social groups or the communities. Then in the next sentence, in these groups and the communities, you can see the third sentence is relating to the previous one. So in these groups and communities, what people do, strangers may connect with each other according to their common interests. So we are also building a scenario as well toward the problem statement. right? I will talk about the problem statement. I'm not going to confuse you right here. And right here, our objective is talk about the research area only. So the research area was the social networks. What people do in the social networks, they actually publish the messages, they interact with each other, they make the groups, join the groups and the communities, they make social circle of friends. In the social circle of friends, what basically they can also interact with the strangers as well, right? Um, they are actually related to you based on your common interest because you have joined some group. For example, it's about sports, and you may come across about the several different strangers which are not in your contact list. So right here, as you can see, the citation is also here. In social networks, users spend most of their time in publishing or accessing the information about such activities, right? No, it is about relating to the previous sentence. People join the groups and then they actually talk about their interests, and they publish and access the information about that. Very frequently, the published content may contain the sensitive data such as date of birth, political views, religious views, medical related informations, and others. As you can see, now in the last sentence, actually we are actually building the necessity for the next paragraph, which is the problem statement. Now we'll be talking about the next statement, the problem, but we have given a hint right here that the people interact, they publish their message, but they can publish their sensitive data as well, right? So in the next paragraph we'll talk about that this sensitive data basically may release the sensitive information, and it give rise to the privacy issues. So we have actually given a hint in the last in the last sentence for the next paragraph. So this was about the first paragraph in which we have talked about the research area only. Okay, in the next paragraph, which is the paragraph 2, in the paragraph 2 we have an objective that we'll talk about the issues in the research area, right? What are the problems, what are the issues that are coherent to your research problem statement, right? Problem statement or the area that you have mentioned. In this particular paragraph, you only focus on the problems, right? What are the problems, what are the issues in your problem? So the kind of a problem we are example we are discussing, we are talking about the social networks, and in the social networks we'll be talking about what are the security issues. As you can see how he this author, he has built the second paragraph based on his research area, that is the social networks. So as you can see, the publicly shared content containing that sensitive information can be easily revealed by means of messages, profile data, or social apps. No, we're talking about the issues here, because in the first paragraph we have talked about the people, they interact with each other, and they publish their messages. And now in this one, we're talking about that whenever you share the information, the sensitive information, that can be revealed through the messages, even from your profile data, because we have already talked about that. For example, you have your date of birth. Date of birth is sensitive, so it can be revealed from your profile data. Moreover, from the social apps as well, like the games you play, and you give your actual information like your date of birth, your name, your real name, and more information, right? Even you can give the access to your social circle of friends as well, because you send them the request to join you in this game. So with this, you're revealing your sensitive information to the game, the one who has developed that game. You're giving the access to your sensitive information, right? So this data may portray a person's social or the inner life, right? As you can see, uh, you are supporting your claim. Sorry, over here. Publicly shared content in which the first sentence you have written that it can reveal your sensitive information through the profile data, messages, or the social apps. In the next sentence, that is actually the continuation of the previous sentence. This data, which data, the one you are giving in or providing in these things, messages, profile data, or social apps. It may portray a person's social or the inner life. No, this claim is supported because you're claiming something right here. It may portray the social or the inner life. That's not what you're claiming. If if it's your claim, then it do not require any citation here, but you are actually supporting your claims through the citations. That is very important. With this, you are increasing the references in your paper as well, and moreover, you are building strong claims, right? Whenever your claim is supported by a reference, then it becomes authentic, right? Because it's not what you are saying, it's the other one who have already published his paper in some venue, and it has been accepted by the researchers or by the reviewers, and no, that claim cannot be challenged. So you are actually building your claims as more stronger by including more references or the citations. Okay, so this data may portray social, the inner life of the one who is publishing, which constitute a serious privacy issue. No, you have actually highlighted the actual issue in in the area, right? Because the people, they publish the data, and that data can be sensitive. So it may give to the privacy issues. Okay, we're building more. Social networks such as Facebooks and the Twitter consider trusted and non-trusted user as friends, right? So supported by a reference. As you can see in the social network, we're talking about the Facebook and the Twitter, and in which the friend list, they can be comprised of the trusted and non-trusted user as well, because more people, they're random people, they can send you a request and you do not know them. Few of the friends, you know them personally, and they may be trusted, but there can be a variety of friends that you cannot trust them. So your friend list basically comprised of trusted and non-trusted users. Okay, but the trust of such users cannot be measured. So that is important thing. You cannot measure the trust of those peoples. Who is the more trusted and who is not? Because if you're adding some strangers, you cannot comment on their trustfulness. So as a result, the sensitive information may be revealed to the non-trusted users. As you can see, you're highlighting the privacy issues in the area. So you're talking about the actual issues in your problem statement. Moreover, there is one author. He has analyzed something, and he has mentioned about he has cited it, and concludes that the majority of users are more concerned with the internal threats of the privacy, that is friends, rather than the strangers. So why he has included this comment right here? Because he has referred to one of the researcher, and he's claiming that that is his claim, that people are more concerned about their internal threat, that is from the trusted friends or from the friends that they have actually, as compared to the strangers which are not in your contact list. For this reason, most of the online social network friends are considered untrustworthy to share the sensitive information. On the other hand, according to the European Union Agency for Fundamental Rights and Council of Europe, uh, because this is there's some body, and if there's a reader who want to know about this body, you have given a appropriate citation, he can go and read more about that authority, what it is, and what it claims for. You need not to write about its function, what they do, and what are their objectives, because it is irrelevant to your paper, because you write each and everything related to your paper only, which are relevant to your proposal, right? Do not write irrelevant things, and do not write redundant things, because whatever you have written in the introduction part, do not rewrite them in the later on in the upcoming sections, right? That becomes redundant and gives a bad look to your paper, and it is highly discouraged. For this reason, most of the OSN friends consider untrustworthy and they share the information. On the other hand, there is a body. This sensitive information needs to be protected. So you are actually referring to that body, and you're saying that it's not me who's saying that you need to protect your sensitive information. It's that agency, or there is a body that can be a legislative body, and or you can also refer to some specific laws in from the body, that they claim that you need to protect your sensitive information, and you must not reveal your sensitive information. So as you can see, in that whole paragraph, you have talked about your actual issues in the highlighted problem. Then in the third paragraph, you talk about the existing solutions, those who have worked on those highlighted issues that you have previously mentioned in your paragraph 2, right? So in this one, as I already explained it in the part 2, that you need not to write about the details of those authors, because as you can see right here, you will be actually citing most of the researchers, not all the researchers, because all of the researchers you will be discussing them in the related work section. So you just write a few of the authors and their contributions, and you talk about them with respect to your given solution, because all of the solutions, they cannot be related to your problem or your solution. uh, uh, you talk about their contributions, which may not be related to your proposal, right? So in this one, you talk about the solutions, and it is important to write about their issues as well. No, you will be highlighting their issues, right, in the issues in the existing proposal, because for example, there's one author who has published something. No, you will be talking about their problems in the upcoming. When you will read it, you will come to know about this section. Okay. In the fourth paragraph, you talk about your solution, right? You talk about how you are going to solve those problems, and how you are going to address them in the fourth page. That's all. Then in the next one, the paragraph 5, you can talk about your contribution, what you are going to do, how you are going to solve your problem, and this is the way you can conclude your introduction part. Later on, I will talk about the more details about the other sections. Thank you very much.